Hello everybody and welcome to the video notes for Unit 3, Day 14. And today we're going to be talking about order and absolute value. Today's video is dedicated to Brianna in 6C. Hi Brianna. What we're trying to learn today, our objective, is to order the absolute value of numbers Before, we've been ordering from least to greatest negative and positive numbers, negative fractions or positive decimals, and now we're going to be focusing on what about the absolute value of numbers. So first we have this exercise right here, and I'm going to get you started together on this top part, and then you're actually going to try to fill out the rest of this on your own. So what it's asking us to do is to sort the list of numbers below into the negative rational numbers on one side and the positive rational numbers on the other. Rational numbers are any type of number. So a rational number can be a whole number, a negative number, a fraction, or a decimal. Let's do the negative numbers first. So I'm just going to go through my list, and anytime I see a negative number, right, maybe I'll circle it. So negative 4 1/2, that's 1. Let's find another negative number. Negative 6, that's another one. What else? Negative 1.5. Negative 6.3. Negative 4. And here, negative 9 1/4. And now let's do the same thing with the positive numbers on the right. So we have 21. I'm going to underline the positive numbers here. Also 0.25. What else? 3.9. And 2 3/4. And 3.99. Okay, so now we have all the negative numbers on the left side and all the positive numbers from this set on the right side. Next, it's going to ask you to list these numbers from least to greatest, and then write down the absolute value. Remember, the absolute value is the positive version of a number. Write the absolute value of all of these numbers, then list the absolute values from least to greatest. And then you're going to compare this one with this one and see how are those different so that you can answer this question here. Then you're going to do all the same thing on the right side for the positive numbers. So this is something that you should be able to finish on your own. So I'm going to have you pause and fill out the rest of this table on your own. Go ahead and start that now. Pause and go. And now you are resuming the video after you tried all of this on your own. All right. And today's secret word is silver, like the color. The secret word is silver, S-I-L-V-E-R. Listing the negative numbers from least to greatest. It's going to be negative 9 1/4. Then, got that one. Then negative 6.3. Then negative 6. Then negative 4 1/2. Then negative 4. Then negative 1.5. All right, let's check this one here. Least to greatest, starting closest to 0, that's 0.25. Then going up, then we have 2 3/4. then 3.9, then 3.99, and then 21. The absolute value of the numbers, well, all I have to do is just take the positive version of each of these. So that'd be 9 and 1/4, 6.3, 6, 4 and 1/2, -4 becomes +4, -1.5 becomes +1.5. Here, the absolute value of these positive numbers, well, the absolute value of a positive number always stays the same, so we don't have to change anything. It's going to be the exact same. 0.25, 2 3/4, 3.9, 3.99, and then 21. Now, listing the absolute values of these numbers from least to greatest. So now the least is actually going to be on this side. So 1.5, then 4, then 4 and 1/2, then 6, then 6.3, then 9 and 1/4. Here, the absolute values from least to greatest, okay, well, that's actually going to stay exactly the same. Now, putting it all together, it asks us, when we went from the list of negative numbers from least to greatest, which was here, to here, right, what happened? Well, the numbers turned positive and the order of the numbers reversed, right? Because here we started with 9 and 1/4 and then ended at -1.5. But when we took the absolute value, then we start at 1.5 and we end at 9 and 1/4. So we can say, when we took the absolute value, the list of least to greatest reversed. So the order of least to greatest reversed. And over here, when we went from this, and we took the absolute value and listed them from least to greatest, it stayed exactly the same. So we can just say it stays the same. So that's the main thing that I want you to get from today's lesson. When you take the absolute value of a set of negative numbers, the order of least to greatest is going to change. It's going to reverse. But when you take the order of least to greatest of a set of positive numbers, it's going to stay the same when you take the absolute value. Okay. Now, just a quick check to see that if you have learned what we just gone over about absolute value. 1, 2, and 3, these problems, I want you to pause and then try these 3 problems right here on your own. All right, so pause and do these 3. Now you are resuming the video after you have tried these 3. Remember, try it on your own first so that you can challenge yourself to learn. Let's take a look. List the numbers from least to greatest, okay? So I'm going to start with the one that's most negative. That's going to be this one right here, -165. And then as we go to the right on the number line, then I would get to -97.6. Then I would get to -94. Then getting closer to 0, I would get to -3/4. All right, now we're going positive. The first positive number I would hit would be, going to the right, would be 36. Getting bigger, 58. And then 156.4. Okay. Number 2 asks us, list the absolute values of the numbers from least to greatest. Oh, I almost forgot. If you got number 1 correct, 2 gold stars for you. So I think it's easiest to list the absolute values of just each of these numbers first and then order them from least to greatest. So we would have 58 is the absolute value of 58. The absolute value of negative 4 is positive 94. The absolute value of negative 97.6 is positive 97.6. 36 stays the same. 156.4 stays the same. Negative 165 becomes positive 165. Negative 3/4 becomes positive 3/4. Now I can easily just look at this set of numbers and put this in order. So the smallest is going to be the closest to 0, 3/4. Then as we get bigger, then we get to 36. Then as we get bigger, then we get to 58. Getting bigger, then we get to 94. Then 97.6. Then 156.4. And then 165. Okay, and there's our answer right here. Okay, if you got that on your own, 3 gold stars for you. And last one, Andrew and Sebastian each had a set of 5 numbers. Their numbers are different, but the absolute value of their numbers are the same. Give an example of what their numbers could be. So for this one, since you know that the numbers are different, but the absolute values are the same, that means they're going to have some negative numbers and positive numbers. So let's say, for example, if Andrew has the number 3, Sebastian might have the number negative 3. And the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. The absolute value of positive 3 is 3. Right, Andrew might have 6. Sebastian could have negative 6. Andrew could have 14. Sebastian could have negative 14. And so on and so on. Right, you might have negative 5 on this side, 5 over here, and maybe they also have like a 10 and also a 10. So different numbers, but if you took the absolute value of all of these and the absolute value of all of these, then it would be the same. All right, if you got that one on your own, 5 gold stars for you. And with that,